Welcome back, Tarot fam. We are going to be talking about my favorite power couple from the White House, Bill and Hillary Clinton. They are going to be testifying in regard to the Epstein files. I'm here for it. Let's see what they're going to have to say. Be right back. Hello, Tarot fam, conspiracy theory maniacs. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner and psychic for over 35 years. We are talking about the Epstein files, and Bill and Hillary have agreed to testify. This is probably going to be a little bit of a shorter video. I just want to see what they have to say. So hit that like button. Let people know that you like my goods. And we are talking about the Clintons.
I don't want to talk about the Clintons.
Gregory doesn't want to talk about the Clintons.
I just want to go on record that I do not condone any speech about Clintons.
If it's your first time here, that is my husband, Gregory, also known as Gregopedia, because he knows everything. Every now and then we have black helicopters that fly over this house. We talk about them all the time. So he's a little worried about that. But you know what? Just nudge, nudge. Maybe we'll switch spots in the bed so I'll be closer to the door. What do you think of that? No monster-proof blanket for you, Greg. So what is going on? Why has Bill Clinton and Hillary said that they are going to testify? What was the motivating factor for Bill on the left and Hill on the right? Let's see. I did not have anything to do with that woman. There is a photograph of Bill Clinton in a hot tub, too. That came out. There's also a painting of him in Monica Lewinsky's dress, specifically. So I think that he's a little bit concerned about how he looks in these documents. He's looking for love in all the wrong places, not at home. What about Hill? Oh, Hill. We lost control. We have lost control of the narrative. We have to get back in there. We have to regain equilibrium. So that's what she's doing. Does Hill still think she's going to run for office? She still thinks she's going to run for office. What about Bill? Bill's like, I just want to go to bed and play with my black lab out in the backyard. Bill's not looking so good. So any depo out of Bill, what is it going to be? Are we going to argue about the definition of the word is again? Any depo with Bill, what are we getting? Well, there's going to be a lot of conflicting information. I've had a very busy life. I've been out of office for a long time, and I've just done all this stuff, and I've had a lot of good stuff that I've done, but I'm not in power anymore, and so I don't know why any of this matters. You know, somebody said if there was a unaliving, would we not care 10 years later if we found out who did it? We probably would. We would still care. I would still care. He is going to go in that direction. Is he not going to remember a thing? I've got trouble remembering things. You know, I've lived a very, very eventful life. You have to rely on my notes and other people's notes, and I can't say how reliable they are. So I think we're going to fall back on the potentially demented kind of thinking here. I think they're going to say that there's some brain shrinkage or dementia that is factoring into Bill's testimony. So I think he's going to forget a lot. Do we get the fifth? So those of you outside of the United States, many of you remember the O.J. Simpson trial, and Mark Furman pled the fifth, and everyone said, oh, he pled the fifth because it was going to
implicate him. The reason that he had to plead the fifth to everything is when you stand up in court and you plead the fifth, it trickles down to all the other questions that come out. You can't plead the fifth to one question and then keep answering questions. So you have to, when you invoke the Fifth Amendment, you have to let it ride for all of the questions. So it can leave some question marks. I'm not absolving Mark Furman or anything like that right now. Though I do think he's an amazing investigator. Read the Murder in Greenwich, the Martha Moxley story. Amazing coverage that he did on that. So what about Hillary? What about Bill? Is he going to plead the fifth? Are we going to get the fifth? No, I don't think we're going to get the fifth. I think he is opposed to that. I think we're going to get, I just don't remember. I don't remember. I've lived a very busy life. That's what he's going to say. I've done so many things in the last 30 years. I can't remember what I was doing on that day. That's what we're going to get. That's his golden ticket. His golden ticket is, I don't remember. I don't remember. You're going to have to rely on somebody else's notes. And I don't know if my staff took really good notes or kept track of my calendar. That I don't know. You have to rely on that. So that's what's going to happen. What about Hill? Oh, Hill. What about Hill? What are we going to find out from Hill? How is Hill's testimony going to go? She's angry.
Right.
She's angry. And she's going to say, all I'm trying to do is live my life with my family and do good things. I don't know what she's doing, but I think she's going to be offended that she was brought into this equation. I think her exposure to Jeffrey Epstein is going to be more limited than what Bill Clinton's experience with him is, or is evidenced by the material that's being released. And I think she is going to say, I have a completely different professional life from my husband, from his political career. I had my own political career, I am an industrious and successful woman all on my own. Ask Huda. Or what was her name? The one that was married to Anthony Weiner, Greg? Huma Abedin. That's her name. Ask Huma. Not Huda. Huma. Ask Huma. All I'm trying to do is continue with my good works, my leadership. But there's a great undoing. I will not be affected by the actions of another. I'm not going to be affected by that. What Jeffrey Epstein did on that island is his business. It has nothing to do with HRC. Nothing. So I do think she will say, I want to get this deposition out of the way because I have many, many things planned for the remainder of 2026. So many things planned. I cannot be bothered with this right now. Leave me be. Let me go about my business. I think we're going to see some of that. How do they both come off? Now, mind you, here in the United States, clients can be prepped. This was something I learned recently, that in the United Kingdom, they cannot be prepped by their attorneys. Learned that through the whole Harry and Meghan ridiculousness. How is Bill going to come off at the end of his depo?
Like a man who's just trying to live his life. Made some really stupid mistakes. Being president was not one. But I'm just trying to live out my salad days.
I do think I just got Parkinson's. Parkinson's just jumped into my head. And I think maybe we're going to hear about a malady that he has that is continuing to afflict him. What about Hill? Good old Hill. How is she going to? We're going to get some nostalgia out of her, but it's the sharp nostalgia. We're going to get the Hillary Clinton 1.0 version. We're going to get the campaigning for president for her husband's first term. That's the Hillary we're going to see. She is going to be not the post Benghazi, not the presidential candidate herself, but the dutiful wife. We're going to see that one. She had like the lob going on. That's the Hillary that we're going to see. But she's going to be sharp. She's going to dip into her attorney toolkit, and she's going to try and come off as an expert on depositions and what happened to her husband, because it doesn't have anything to do with her. It's nothing to do with her. So this is going to be interesting. I'm going to have some fun when they do their depositions. I hope that you will join me in that. But until then, we are going to wrap it up. Greg said if we make it, we're going to wrap it up with Bill Gates in the next one, not Bill Clinton, Bill Gates in the next one. So stick around for that. I'm dropping these over the next few days, guys. I'm recording on the 4th, but we're going to have lots of fun with this. So join me, add your questions in the comments.
We don't want to hurt ourselves.
And we don't want to hurt ourselves. Greg said we don't want to hurt ourselves. So drop your stuff in the comments. Let me know what you want to see. If you want me to read on anybody who's come out in that 1,000,000 pages, let me know. So I will see you in a little bit in the future. Bye.